So are you a cat person or a dog person? Right? There's a question that'll get people really going. If you say you're a cat person and you're sitting right next to a dog person, you're like, you should convert. Come over to the dark side. Right? Like, we get fired up on that stuff. I mean, in jest and all, in all honesty and everything else, but like, we're willing to argue for a long period of time, especially for those of us who are over 21, if you've had more than a few extras. We're willing to argue even longer over whether or not you should be a dog person or a cat person. We're bold in our defending of our belief on which animal is the best, which, by the way, I'm an odd mix. Like, intellectually, I'm a dog person. Like, I love the idea of an animal that just, like, the whole world revolves around you. And, like, they're just so excited to see you. And, like, everything about that. Intellectually, in practicality, I kind of like cats. You know, whenever I want them to come over to pet them and give them attention, they come over. And then whenever I'm done, they go and do their own little thing. And we each live in our own little world, right? So I'm this odd mix where it's like intellectually I like dogs more, but in practicality I'd probably live better with a cat. So I guess I'm an odd mix. One of the questions I have for us today is, why are we so timid? We'll be bold whenever we're discussing whether or not people should be cat people or dog people. To be more practical, though, for serious things, we're also much more bold. We're very bold, most of us, when it comes to our belief in politics. What one thing or the other, right? We're strong in our beliefs, and we're bold. We're willing to talk about it, defend them, argue why they're the best ones, why other people should come to this idea and support this reasoning or that reasoning, whatever it may be. And yet, whenever it comes to our faith, we tend to be anything but bold. We tend to go, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I think ours is the right one. I mean, that's why I'm there, but I mean, I don't want to force my beliefs on you. And we don't want to force them on, but don't we want to convince them that ours is really the best? Why else would we be here if we didn't think that it wasn't the truth and the reality and the very best that there was to offer? Right? In the second letter we hear from St. Paul, right? We have a spirit of power and self-control. We have a spirit of adoption as the sons and daughters of God, not a spirit of cowardice and of fear. We have the greatest thing ever. We have, because of our faith, because of the graces that God has given to us, we have God himself. We get to become children of God, and we have the promise of heaven. We have all these great and amazing things. Why are we not more bold in spreading the good news? And some people could say, well, Father, look at today's gospel reading, right? To a certain degree. At least this is how I was thinking, right? Who among you would say to your servant who has just come in from, right, doing all the work, come, sit down, eat, drink. Instead, wouldn't you say, hey, continue to serve, continue to do your stuff. And then he ends it. When you're done all that you have been commanded, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done what we are obliged to do. Unprofitable servants. I don't know about you, but I don't like to be called unprofitable. I like to think that I'm doing something good. I'm doing almost more than what I've been asked to do. I don't like to think that I've been doing the bare minimum. And yet, when we stop and we look at it, to a certain degree, don't we do almost the bare minimum? What did Jesus tell us to do? Be perfect as our Heavenly Father is perfect. So even if we've done everything in our life perfectly, even if we were like the Blessed Virgin Mother, we would still, at our time of death, say, I'm an unprofitable servant. I've only done what I was obliged to do. And I don't know about you, but I could look at that and go, All right, so why do I now say that I have the greatest thing to share to people? It's because even though we are the unprofitable servants, and even less than that because we did not work as hard as we possibly could have, although we try to get there, but we always fall short, we all sin, what does Jesus still say to us? When we get done working in this field of the world, if we've worked, he says, come here immediately. Take your place at table. Eat, drink, be merry. Have rest from your work, from your labors. He does give us that. Even though we don't deserve it, even though we might not do it, he does. And so we should be bold in our work in the field, in sharing his word, in spreading the kingdom, inviting others to it, because we do have the very best to offer. We have God himself. And so today I encourage us, let us be bold in our faith, bolder than we are in anything else. Be bold in sharing our faith.